Like the original?
Yep.
How'd it look?
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no load times. Huh? Like what happens on the elevators?
The elevators are locked. That happens no matter what.
Okay.
I think we're live now. Sorry, I didn't know that was going to work.
Oh yeah, I see. Watch live. Bad movie fiends. Bad
Like,
movie fiends.
It was just like a crapshoot of like, is this going to work? And
So we didn't get to do our dorky faces to.
Oh, I don't know. I think I might have been stroking my neck beard.
Oh, there we go.
All right. I'm going to put this places.
Pop out the chat.
Put that there. Put that there.
Hello, Robert.
So I guess YouTube's
How are
working.
you?
We weren't sure.
What?
Well, we weren't sure YouTube was actually working.
Apparently, it's working now.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Check that stream health.
Our long national
so
nightmare. It's also a natural nightmare is over.
That's true.
Well, mostly.
Hey, look, there's that tweet already. Man, you're quick on this, Chuck.
I was ready.
Damn
You got that shit
I gotta
prepped.
go open up Twitter.
Twitter.
You're gonna make me open up Twitter. I'm gonna open up my video screens and tweet.
Well, you're hot dogging and 5-starring.
Oh, look, right on cue. Here's my dog.
Our tweets are like the cream of the crop.
Go away.
What's up, dog? Hell no. What up, dog?
Go to bed.
Dogs don't understand English, Chuck.
Go
Yeah.
to bed.
You've got to speak in Huttese.
Yeah.
May I suggest a simple phrase that you might use, like "E cha cha waki Chewbacca."
Go to bed.
The dog will be like, oh, shit.
Go on.
Day 101.
Yeah. bring me the Wookiee Chewbacca. Ota solo.
Oh, man.
We're giddy. We're just giddy.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I haven't been on for a while.
Oh yeah, I don't even know. Like, no offense to you. Like, I have no idea what day it is when the last time we've podcast.
Yeah, like we skipped a week. BJ was on the week before. So, yeah, it's been like 3 weeks for me.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, I
Well,
think it's like BJ and I are not allowed to coexist on the podcast anymore.
Yeah.
It's like whenever one of us is there, the other one's like, I'm out.
Which one?
Actually
Which one of
saw
you is
him
Tyler
yesterday.
Durden, and which one of you is like Marla Singer?
Yeah.
Like, can't be in the
don't
same
know.
room at the same time.
Yeah. But I did see him in person on yesterday, picking up my Xbox from him.
And I saw Chuck in person today.
Man.
Right.
Half of us can confirm the other half's existence.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't. Chuck's the only one I haven't seen like since the quarantine started. Last time was like whatever episode I did last. Was the last time I saw you. Harlow, I stopped by that. God, when was that? That was like beginning of the summer when I picked up that monitor, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the mic and stuff. Yeah, it's been a while. Or not the mic, the preamp or whatever.
Yeah, and then the preamp busted, or the mic busted. I think I fried it somehow.
Oh.
I need to get a new mic. I really need to get a DAC. but we're not going to go back to DAC talk.
Sweet DAC talk.
Yeah.
Don't talk DAC. Yakety yak.
Yeah, because I'm not crazy about the snowball, but what can you do, huh?
Not use it.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to have a setup that'll allow me to jump from computer to computer because so often Jen's working on this nice fast Mac, and I have to resort to the busted
The
old
crapple.
Mac. Yeah. Yes. The crapple. The Crapintosh.
Crap book.
Yeah, Chuck. Did you know that Mac is short for Macintosh?
What?
Because that's a type of apple.
That's a type of apple.
Yes. Yeah, they chose that instead of Granny Smith. So
Yeah.
I also
we could
chose
all we could all be working on our grands.
Ooh, I would be working on my grand. Wait, that sounds wrong. That sounds really wrong.
Work that grand.
No,
Please
yeah,
do
you're right.
not.
Yes, Mac was much better choice. They could have gone with Red Delicious, which is a
was gonna
lie.
say.
Well, it's only half a lie. They are red. They are not delicious.
Nah.
They're kind of like the inferior of all apples, in my opinion.
They could have gone with crab apples.
Crab apples are kind of shitty too. Crab
Oh,
apples
yeah,
and
I know.
Red Delicious are like the worst, and everything else is pretty good.
Okay.
Like Golden Delicious is good. Like that one's actually true. But Red Delicious
Chuck.
is like, I like things that sort of taste like turpentine.
This is the content people are here for, Chuck.
Yeah. Sweet apple
Discussing
talk.
Varieties of apples.
Yes. Literally apple.
Look, quarantine's been hard, man.
Don't even get me started on Johnny Appleseed, fucking eco-terrorist.
Yeah.
And he was just throwing out the seeds so he could claim land.
Yeah, they should've
That's all
called
that
it-
asshole was doing. And he was shit trees. It was crab apples.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Johnny
fucking
Appleseed was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's fucking Johnny Skeet over here, just seeding the land.
Yep. Yeah, it was all a grift. Don't ever believe the stories about Johnny Appleseed.
Hell no.
If he was alive today, he'd be saying that the vote doesn't count because he was a grifting piece of shit. Anyway.
Right. Everyone now recording?
Oh shit! I wasn't recording that. I guess you don't get a Johnny Appleseed rant from me to throw the extras.
Oh no, we've got it on my track.
Oh, on the main one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
So-
should we do a thing that we sometimes do?
Yeah. I have finished The Boys.
Like all of them?
And two Borat movies. So
Wow.
I don't know what you fellows have.
Uh,
We're not talking video games, right?
I have one television show.
Okay.
I have watched most of the new Borat thing. I haven't seen the original Borat thing since it was 14 years ago. Nice. Or whatever. So,
Yeah.
Great.
yeah.
Yes. Did you post it in the Discords, by the way?
Yep.
Sweet. Good job, Chuck.
Thank you.
Way to be on it, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I would hire you as our social media manager.
Oh, that's great. What does
Yeah,
it pay?
You could be our expert.
Literally nothing.
Great.
It actually costs you to do it.
Yeah, we
It's one of
pay
those
you.
reverse internships.
We pay you an exposure, and by that you mean you must expose yourself to us constantly.
And I have to give you $5 a month in Patreon money.
Yeah, to our OnlyFans.
Oh,
Do
to
you-
the only.
Do you reimburse yourself for that?
Oh, I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Okay. Well, that's why our numbers dropped.
Yeah.
Because you were no longer a patron.
Yeah, no. No, I just did that a while to make sure it looked right from
Yeah.
a paying customer's point of view.
Sure.
And then after a while, I was like, I trust the system.
I don't trust those people with my money anymore.
Like an idiot.
You fool. What have you done?
What have I done?
Chuck,
Yeah,
we're
I've
gonna
still
we're gonna
got
have to
like
talk
4 or
about your
5.
position here on the podcast now that you're all contributing to the Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to like 4 or 5 Patreon things, and one of them was a podcast I haven't listened to in like a year. I literally have a stack of 50 something episodes to listen to. So I'm like, maybe I should cancel that. But then again, it's like the tip jar theory, you know? It's like, here you go.
What movie is your movie barcode? Did we ask you this before?
Which one is this one? I think this is Out of Sight.
Okay. I mean,
Looking at the color grades,
I assume,
I'm pretty sure
kind
it's
of.
Out of Sight.
yeah. I mean, I assumed because of you and the colors that was it.
Yeah.
But thought I'd
Yeah,
ask.
I think I had a Gremlins one too, and I forget what the other one, but I just grabbed them because that site went defunct, if I'm not mistaken, so it was tough to find them anymore.
All right. Well, let's
Anyway,
talk about things for a little bit, I guess.
sure.
Yeah.
That was a weird clap. I didn't like that.
So far off to a bad start.
No. What is wrong with my hands?
Dude, tighten up.
All right. Welcome to the BMFcast Variety Hour.
Hey,
Number something.
BMFcast Variety Hour.
25.
Sure. 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a monumental milestone.
We can
Yes.
rent a car. That's the only thing that happens at 25, I think, is like your insurance goes down and you can rent a car.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
Yeah, still not at full capacity. BJ's missing.
Yeah, BJ and I can no longer coexist on the same plane of existence.
Right. That's for the best, I think.
Yeah, it's working out all right for both of us, I think.
They were in the same space earlier this week.
Yes,
I know
I
what
know.
happens when that happens.
Yeah.
I picked up an Xbox at his house. He left it at the bottom of the stairs, and we talked up the stairs to each other.
Oh, this is how
It was
friendship
pleasant.
is in 2020. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid world we're in right now.
Yep.
I'm surprised you didn't have to make like a candy shoot for your Xbox and just send it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, here comes.
Yeah. Brief aside, like he ordered one from Microsoft themselves, and then he ordered one from Amazon. The one from Microsoft had like this custom box around it with like actual dividers around to keep like the inner box pristine. And Amazon was like a box that was twice the size, and there was like one of those little bundles of cardboard paper just kind of like chucked in there on one side.
That was mine too. Mine was also delivered the same way from Amazon that way. Yes.
Which is like, fuck you, Amazon.
Which is fine because like the outer box is a fucking beast. Like I mean, you're never going to close it again because it's one of those things when you release the little tape tabs, it just wants to jack in the box back open. But it's a beast of a box. I mean, like it's fine. But yeah. So
anyway, yes,
yes,
BJ
I
is
mean,
still alive. I've seen him.
I think the main caveat here is like I don't think we've watched a whole lot of movies and TV stuff because we've been video gaming or preparing to video game and
Well, we took a week off because the
that
world
or
was on
watching
fire.
constant news coverage.
that too, sure, yes, there was a little bit of that. It might have happened. Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be a smattering of coverage, and we're probably going to do a no quarters next week, perhaps.
More than likely,
Sure.
I think
because
so,
I mean, both new consoles will be out, and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not talking video games tonight. Just giving you the excuse of video games because they've been taking up a lot of our time. So we haven't watched a lot of stuff.
the excuse of video games.
But what have we been watching?
I got some.
Okay.
I finished. I started talking about season 2 of The Boys last time I was here, whenever the hell that was.
When was the last time we had you on?
It's been like a month, seriously. But I finished season 2, and that was one of those shows where it's 8 episodes, and 7 of them are misery and pain and the shitty people doing everything they want and getting away with it. And then the 8th episode's like, here's all your payoff. Here's all of it. Pounded into 1 hour, and it's like, all right, okay. So yeah, it's kind of like 2020 at this point, except 2020 is still not over. So we'll see where we end up. But yeah, I see why so many people are much higher on the second season than they were on the first, because the second season ends in a much more satisfying manner that kind of like closes a lot of loops that they've had open since the beginning of the first season, and obviously leaves places to go. There's one character thing that I was like, I don't know about that. And they also kind of, there's a lot of setup for something that they immediately cut off. So I don't know if they're just like, no, we're not doing that next season, and that's that, or what. But it still ends well. It pays off for all the misery and shittiness that you're putting up with. And hey, things are happening. So, there's that.
So it's worth sitting through those 7 episodes to get to episode 8.
Have you watched the first season?
I've tried to watch.
You have to watch both seasons.
No, I know. I just meant for you. Yeah. I'm asking. It was worth sitting through the 7 episodes that you really seem to be pained about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was like finally like, all right, let's do this. Finally when we were getting to it. Whereas like Fargo, I forget which episode it was, but like we were watching, and then the dog like was just being a pain in the ass. It's like, I need to go outside. Take me outside. And like, in the middle of the episode, I'm like, fine, I'll fucking take you out. And I was like, man, and I was like, God, it sucks because there's probably only like 5 minutes left in the episode, but I got to take the dog out or she's going to go on the floor. And Jen paused it, and it had been like 32 minutes, and it was like an hour and 10-minute episode. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I feel like I've been here for 2 hours already. So yeah, Fargo, it's a bit slow. it's a bit slower of a journey. So I don't know. We're still catching up on that, but I'm still enjoying the acting in that. But yeah, the pacing's kind of hurting me, And it's like, and especially in contrast to The Boys, where there's something happening every episode. There's no filler episode. There's no like, you know, oh, we traveled through time and erased everything that happened this episode. There's none of that bullshit like a certain other show, which will not be named. But yeah, I would say that it paid off for me enough to make the second season worth it and had me at least interested in where the third season could go. Which is more than I can say for most shows lately. Most shows I hit the end of the season, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Yeah. Like Westworld was like, I should have just been like, watch the first season and be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need this. I mean, the second season,
done that.
Yeah, the second season had that one absolutely fantastic episode that was kind of like divorced from everything else going on.
Yeah.
And all the main characters. And then the third season was just like, yeah, we don't know what we're doing, man. We blew it.
They said make another season, so we were like, what about this?
Yeah. So we wrote it on the bus on the way to school.
Guys,
it was,
Guys, hear me out. Eastworld.
Kind of.
It wasn't even that. They were just like, hear me out. What if there's no Westworld?
Yeah. What if we're done with that on the show called Westworld? Cool.
That's still one of my favorite tweets about Westworld was somebody just going, yeah, it's like it's a place, it's a theme park with robot cowboys. And somebody responds, hey, that sounds fun. And the guy goes, it won't be. And that kind of describes Westworld. It was like, I hate that they blew up the setup of that show so fast.
Yeah.
And it's funny, thinking about that and The Boys, where the way The Boys is originally sold as far as a TV show goes, is it's like, we're the guys where the superheroes get out of control. We take, we fix things. And it's like, absolutely not. That is not what this show's about in any way whatsoever. And yet, like, apparently that's where the comics started. And then that's kind of the point where they might have reached at the end of the second season, finally, where it's like, okay, yeah, maybe they actually are going to become something where it's like, no, this is your job now. As opposed to just being like, no, we're just kind of murderers, whatever. So anyway, yes, there's my rambling.
Okay.
I got other stuff, but you guys go ahead.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
Okay. Speaking of television, it's the best I got. On Halloween, my family and I marathoned The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix from a couple years ago. Just one of the 90,000 Netflix shows that I was like, I will get to that eventually. And then 2 years later, I was like, I'm to this now. That is a really great self-contained season of television. Like, can't really argue with any of it, can't really point to anything and go, that was bad or anything like it. It is not what I expected it to be. I expected it to be more of a we're in a house and it is spooky and oh no, what do we do? It is very Lost-ish, bouncing back and forth between the timelines and this family. All 10 episodes are directed by Mike Flanagan, and I am...
Oh, Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. I'm getting increasing to the point where I like when one director directs an entire season of television. All 3 seasons of Mr. Mercedes were directed by Jack Bender. The dude, when you're watching Lost and you see his name pop up, you're like, oh, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good one.
Imagine that on every fucking episode of a television show. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's very film-like in its consistency because of that, because you've got one person doing it all. So it's basically like one big film. You don't get what you get with shows that have all these other directors, and sometimes you get guest directors come in. It's like, like when Tarantino directed an episode of ER. That episode of ER is weird. Like, it doesn't fit in that universe at all because it's fucking Tarantino putting his dumb 90s sauce all over it, and it looks weird and doesn't feel right. And so
it only works because of the actual script itself, not
right.
the filmmaking that he's done on it.
Right. But so many shows have that where it's like, oh, now RoboCop is directing these 2 episodes for some reason. I don't know why, but that's somewhat distracting. You know, it's, I don't know. I think for a show like this, it is a very good thing to have one vision throughout this story, because it's a complicated story that I think journeyman directors would come in and not really have a grasp of and just be going through the motions. That's not to say every episode feels the same. Some of them are fucking crazy with the direction and the camera setups and stuff like that. There's one episode mid-season that has like 4 or 5 20-minute takes. It's like watching a stage play, and the set design and the way they are able to go back and forth through time in their storytelling while not breaking camera is remarkable. It is just it's a remarkable bit of storytelling for a spooky horror thing, and then ultimately it's not really about that at all. So it's about the friends we made along the way.
So is it? You said it's self-contained thing. Is it its own deal that eventually, like, there could be another season of that story, or is it kind of like, we told our story, we're done here?
That story is done. There is a second season of that show, but it's a different thing. So it's like American Horror Story in that regard, in that they've told a story, but in the vein of this thing, we're going to keep it going. Here's another spooky house with a spooky family.
Doesn't American Horror Story just always have the same actress in it, but playing different parts or something? Is that what it is?
For a while, it did.
Okay.
Jessica Lange was in it forever.
Oh, okay. I thought I was thinking of Sarah Paulson.
She's one of the more consistent people.
Yeah.
That dude who plays Quicksilvers, and
I've never actually watched it because, like, I don't watch Ryan Murphy shows anymore. But yeah, like, I learned this a long time ago. Don't ever get invested.
Everyone reaches that point eventually.
Yeah.
I bailed on American Horror Story after the 2nd or 3rd season. That show was just like, here's something gross, and it's like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Ryan Murphy's clearly one of those people who just reads the comments and then just starts tailoring the shows to exactly what the comments are and never listen to the comments. I mean, just I mean, you know,
Nip Tuck went real wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I know we differ on when it went wrong, but
did he make Pose as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that needs to come back. So Jen has a show that she watches that I don't. So whenever I'm doing this, she has a show she could be watching out there and doesn't have to acknowledge me anymore.
There have been a couple of self-contained shows that he has done in the last 5 years or so that I have enjoyed. The O.J. Simpson season was a really good season of television.
Yeah, I think his first seasons are fantastic. Like, before he gets a chance to read feedback. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's like when he's just like, this is what I'm thinking of, and, you know, with no outside influence, they're usually great. I will still go to bat that the first season of Glee is good. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's a different kind of show. It's an underdog show instead of like a diva, like, just song showcase. It's not about that, you know, in the first season. And then it was just like, oh, look, we got to do American Idol every week, or people are going to lose interest. Yeah, it's like, no, that's not what I was watching. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, it's you should watch that show on Netflix. It's really good.
Is it gory or anything like that?
No.
Just more spooky?
Psychological.
Yeah.
Psychological. I'll say that. It's also got a healthy mix of 6 Feet Under, which is a terrific television show that is not a spooky show. I was pleasantly surprised by that. There were a number of times where I was like, man, this is like 6 Feet Under, and 6 Feet Under is really good. So I was not upset by that.
Yeah.
I really like Mike Flanagan's output. Dr. Sleep was surprisingly strong. I really like Oculus a hell of a lot.
Wait, this spooky mirror movie with
Yes,
Amy Pond in
Karen
it?
Gillian, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. I think that movie's neat.
Okay.
So
I just remember kind of like, oh yeah, it's Amy Pond. Okay, that was weird. Why was it produced by the WWE exactly? Like, it is. Like, there's a WWE logo that comes at the beginning.
I know, yeah.
And I was just like, the fuck? Like, is Bray Wyatt going to come out of the spooky mirror, like doing backwards lobster crawl or whatever you call it?
Backwards lobster.
Or crab crawling. That's lobster.
Those are delicious.
Lobsters roll, crabs crawl. Yeah.
Hell yeah, they do.
What are you two talking about?
I don't even know.
God.
Yeah. You watched the entirety. I was watching it prior to this. I just ran out of time because I forgot I had to run an errand. And didn't leave myself enough time. But you watched both the original and the new subsequent movie film of Borat.
Yes, I have watched both Borats in this previous week.
A tale of two Borats, if you will.
Yes, yeah. Jen had never seen Borat, so it was kind of like, yeah. Now you get to see where all the catchphrases and all the memes came from.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah, and she would be totally lost watching the second one if she had not seen the first Borat. So
many details,
sure.
yes.
Yeah,
there are a lot of plot points.
Deep, intricate thing you must understand.
Yeah, man, that first Borat is a time capsule and a half. Holy shit. Because it's just like, it was just before the iPhone came out. So it was like people just didn't have iPhones or, like it weren't recording everything. The end of the movie takes place in a Tower Records full of like CDs and DVDs and stuff. It's just weird. But
what are those?
Yeah, but in comparison to the second one is probably a better made movie. And as far as like plot wise, it actually has one, as opposed to the first one where it was just like, here's a string of gags and we're in this location. Let's figure out what gags we can get out of it. And the second one actually has a plot and feels like it was directed, so to speak. So it has that going for it. It's definitely not the catchphrase meme factory that the first one was. The second one, it's not like that. It's hard to explain, but his daughter is a much bigger part in the second one, to the point where she is almost the main character of the movie at it through a lot of it. And they had to just like have thrown a fucking party after her screen test or whatever, her audition. I don't even know how they did it because they kept the movie secret for so long. But like casting her was like a fucking masterstroke, because they're just like, oh my God, we found another Sacha Baron Cohen who's just this girl who's just willing to go anywhere, to whatever it takes to get the joke. She's willing to go there. And it's pretty impressive, and there's some stuff where it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, I cannot believe you people are doing this right now.
Well, there's a couple of them. Like I said, I haven't seen everything, but there's a couple of them. It's like, I think that's kind of part of the joke now, is knowing where it's going and just waiting for it. It's like watching the slow car wreck.
Oh yeah, like the debutante ball.
That and that and like the setup of the buying the King baby cupcake or whatever, and like in the alley and shit. It's just like, oh God damn it, I know exactly where this is going. Like before it happens, I know where this is going. I'm still just gonna watch it.
I also like that they acknowledge that everyone knows who the fuck Borat is, so he can't go around as Borat. So it becomes the in movie thing is everyone knows I'm Borat, so I have to disguise myself so people don't think I'm Borat. And like, there's a point where he has to give Borat pretending to have a redneck accent, which is just this amazing little piece of just him just ad-libbing immediately with it. But it's just the way you imagine Borat having a redneck accent is better. Like the way he does it is better than what you're imagining.
My favorite thing that actors do is when they are doing an accent in a movie and then have to do another accent on top of that. That just breaks my brain in terms of like how
I feel like it's one of these things. Like I feel like Borat as a thing, and Sacha Baron Cohen along with him obviously, is like, I almost feel guilty if I laugh at half of the shit at this point, because I shouldn't be laughing, but this is not hyperbole. I laugh for like 3 to 5 straight minutes after the debutante ball scene. I'm not gonna lie. Like like, and I can't. It's like it's not even the base thing that was going on. It was the It was knowing these people, like
Mm-hmm.
being around these kind of people my entire life, and watching the Southern politeness slowly fade away into horror, and them just standing there dumbfounded because
And nobody's stopping it.
yeah, and just all the people that are like half clap, like that's the thing. It's just like their hands
Yeah.
haven't dropped, and they're just like standing there open mouthed, and it's like that just made me laugh uncontrollably for far too long. Like, yeah, it's so base. It's so base of the humor, but yeah, no, this one's definitely more of a thing. Like
It's more very much like set up punchline almost, but if you can imagine the scenario itself is the setup for the punchline, if that makes sense.
I
It's whereas it feels like the first one was more just like let's do some shit and see what develops.
Mhm.
Where it feels like this one is more crafted as far as like, all right, we're aiming for this, and that's how we're going to get there.
I strangely like would almost liken this to the Bill and Ted reboot thing here, because it's like you have this original thing that is it is much beloved, but it's like when you look at it, it's like yeah, but it was very much of its time. There were some very some poorly phrased things throughout it, and and also how do you how do you suddenly jump it forward to now while still remaining the same thing, but also like having more heart, because I think it's demanded, especially when
Yeah.
you enter in like the parent-child relationship thing,
Yeah.
and this is not to say like, oh, it's some sweet family movie. Like I don't mean it like that.
No.
I'm just saying like it's this, like it's weird because it's just like, oh well, like wow, this
Well,
is
it
suddenly,
has a weird sentimentality
yes,
that develops
strangely, yes,
that you would not expect in a Borat movie.
right. That's what I was trying to get at. Like you're like, I'm actually almost feeling something from a movie that's just supposed to be a "ha, we got you, dummy," type of thing, which is usually totally not my jam. Like it's just there's something appealing about, I guess, who he targets. It's
At what point did you stop watching? Just out of curiosity.
uh, she was just getting dropped off by the babysitter,
Okay.
and having a talk, and that's where I had to stop.
Okay, so you hadn't hit the point where COVID actually happens in the movie, and they
Well,
have to
no,
deal with that.
no, other than like Pence speech, him talking about it very erroneously.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it gets to the point where he's wandering around the streets, going, "I do not understand where everyone is,"
yeah, no, I
and
totally
yeah,
get
and
it.
apparently he meets two prepper guys,
Okay.
and the real thing is he stayed with these guys for 5 days during COVID, and never broke character for 5 days. Like would go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and be like, "Oh fuck, I have to be Borat."
Sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and that's I think the problem with watching Borat, at least for people like us, where we know how movies are made. We're always like, "Oh, where do I know that guy from?" Like whenever we watch a movie, we're immediately we're immediately Rick Dalton. We're like that, calling things out, pointing at the screen. But like when you watch something like this, it's like, okay, are these real people? Was that a plant? Like the babysitter lady, it's like apparently she was real. And I was like, thank God, because some of the stuff she says later is like, if it was scripted, it would be like, no, fuck you. But like, because it's an actual real person saying it, it means considerably more than if it was a plant who just, did this thing. And that's the thing is like with the prepper guys, like you're just like, holy shit. Like how did they get releases for this? How do these guys agree to do this? The whole Mike Pence stuff, how does he not get arrested like immediately? Like how did that happen? Like, because I know he's just the vice president, but Secret Service, like,
We're clearly the people that were escorting him out.
yeah, but I mean, it's like, how did he even get in the room? Like
The funny thing is that I specifically remember when that happened.
mm-hmm.
I remember people covering that speech and making a point to say someone dressed as is in here disrupting things, and they had pictures of it, and everyone was like, well, that was really weird anyway. And then 6 months later it's like, it was a Borat movie. You're like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
How did they
Yeah.
not get caught?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just so much stuff like that. And yeah, it that becomes the problem, is going, okay, what's real and what's not?
Mm-hmm.
And wondering, and how'd they get releases for this, and just all that sort of stuff. It becomes a little tougher because of, the way that this one's structured. Because it was directed by a guy who'd done like, episodes of The Office and done like episodes of Nathan For You and those sorts of things. So it's like he knows how to mine kind of like roaming eye in the room camera type stuff.
Right.
And Nathan For You obviously is like knowing, okay, I've got this guy who's just going to push things in the most awkward area he can at every given moment. And, how do I make sure that I'm capturing all that correctly? It's kind of this fascinating study, honestly, like that, these movies got made, that, that he's able to push things as far as he is. Because there are some situations like in both movies where I'm just like, he's going to get hurt. Like someone is going to attack him soon if he doesn't back off. And he just like, that's the thing, is he's not willing to back off, like that fight or flight instinct doesn't kick in for him.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you do that. Or just be not being willing to break character. Because I mean, there's a scene later on where he meets a Holocaust survivor, and I'll just leave it at that. And he doesn't break character with anything he does. And if you know anything about the Borat character, you know that that's not a good thing for him to meet a Holocaust survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
and she does and she is real, because she gets a dedication at the end of the movie, because she passed away like right after filming, like right after they filmed that stuff. But it's like, how?
As I said,
how on earth?
Grain of salt everything I've said about this movie, because I have not finished it. I'm just saying, like, so far it's surprisingly heartwarming, as much as something like that can be.
And the Giuliani stuff is weird too, because like it's weird being like, because we all know and we've all seen like that specific screenshot from it.
I haven't,
and it's kind of like, well. Where you been, man? But it's Twitter. Like you're watching it, like the whole interview with him starts, and you're just like, oh god, and you're just like, there's this weird creeping dread happening, and then when it happens at the end, it's like, it really is so ambiguous. It's not like you watch it and go, oh yeah, he was ready to get down. It's like you don't. It's really it's one of those weird things that it just yanks you right out of the movie, because you realize what's happening, and how it's been covered. But B, it's kind of like, there is no, as far as me watching it, I really don't think there was a definitive answer for where things would have gone from that point forward, because I think that's one of the few times Sacha Baron Cohen was like, all right, we got to stop this right now. I see where this is going. This has to stop right now. And luckily he finds a way to do it in character, as well as kind of in the context of what was happening anyway. But yeah, I think it's weird, because, and I'll say this, like Rudy Giuliani is just a human piece of shit, in my opinion. But, I'm willing to say, I don't know where that was going. And I'm almost like willing to give him the benefit of the doubt as to how that scene plays out. And if anybody should be like, no, fuck that guy, it's me.
The best part about that whole situation is that up until the clip started making the rounds online, Rudy still thought he was in some right-wing documentary that Borat just interrupted.
Wow.
The reason he signed release and all that stuff was because he still thought that what he had been doing up until that point was part of a legit documentary. And then a prankster burst in and interrupted that documentary.
And I can actually kind of see where he's coming from with that somewhat, but yeah, it's just, it's one of those weird things that's going to like outlive the movie, most likely.
Sure.
And become this outsized thing compared to where the movie actually went, So
which one's better? I know they're both different, but which one's better?
They're two really different animals, and it's tough to judge Borat now. Like, it's like watching Austin Powers now.
I was going to say,
like when that first came out,
if like he made one now, like how that would go over.
I think
you mean Austin, like Mike Myers, if he made an Austin Powers now?
Yes.
I was going to say, because he did make a Borat movie. Just that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but, because it's like when pop culture has just bastardized something so thoroughly as they have Borat, like everyone's like my wife, but like that is like it's weird because it's like a mid sentence thing in a totally like non-related scene near the end of the movie.
Right.
Because he's saying something like, "I'll make Pam Anderson my wife," and that's it. But like everyone is going, "My wife," like it's weird. And I mean, there's the scene earlier where they tell him his wife's dead. That is one of the best payoffs like ever. Because they tell him his wife's dead, and he holds it for a beat and goes high five with the guy. So that's the thing is like that stuff still hits. Like there are still so many just funny ass things, but there's also the ones where it's just like like when he's at the southern dinner party or whatever, and he just keeps being awkward, but it's like they're like, yeah, he could, like we could probably teach this guy to be an American and he'd be all right. He's just there's a lot of cultural differences, and then he's like hired a prostitute who shows up, as his dinner date, and then it's like, okay, and everyone there immediately shuts down too, and it's like that's the thing where it's like, you had something and you could have kept it going, and then you wrecked it by pushing it too far. So, I don't know. I mean, they're both. I rated them both 4 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. They're very different animals because like the second one is very clearly like a directed movie, and the first one is just not. The first one is very much like this is almost like Jackass, where it's just they were going from place to place, doing pranks. So yeah.
I concur.
I like them both, but yeah, it's tough to even judge the first one because of pop culture. Just like if I tried to watch Austin Powers now, the first one I'd probably be like, fuck everything, because so many unfunny people latched onto it and ruined it, basically.
Yeah. I still maintain, and I think I'm right about this, is that there's another layer to the Austin Powers movies where if you can divorce yourself from all the bullshit that people latched onto, there are still some really solid jokes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I mean, there's dumb things I still quote, and they're not the things that most people quote,
Right.
like, I mean, the Carney's cabbage running joke throughout all of it is just really dumb and funny. And I don't know why. Just for me, 100%. I know you hate Goldmember like through and through for some reason. That just the entire movie, I think. But like Michael Caine in that movie is fucking great. And like when he just offhandedly sees Mini-Me, he's like, "Oh, I thought it smelled cabbage." It's just like that coming back and paying off that way is just like, all right. Like there's just some really dumb, funny things I like in that. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I should try watching all 3 again at some point. Because I should give Goldmember another shot, but I don't know what it was that turned me off about all of it.
Sure.
There's
like I said, there's still funny things in it to me.
I guess it's like it felt like it was trying so hard.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the problem with it. Whereas like I think the second one is the best one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And and that one just like that one just I don't know why, but it just all the comedy in it feels effortless. And everything in Goldmember felt forced to me.
Yeah,
I think I could absolutely. What's that?
No, it absolutely does. I mean, yeah, they were clearly in that like, I don't even know. Like, there's got to be like some sort of word where you just sort of get so into your own bullshit that you just kind of stop caring, And it's just like, well, we just have to do this again, and the money trucks will keep backing up and dumping more, Like,
well, and I think that's what works with Borat and having a daughter in the movie. Is that they're not forcing catchphrases and other bullshit into it, whereas I think that's the thing about Austin Powers as it went on. It was like, all right, we got this new character and this is his thing, and it's like, all right, this is going to be his catchphrase, like you could just feel that as they were writing it.
Sure.
Whereas like Borat, they actually feel like characters that they've crafted, and it's not, and it, I really, it's like, I feel like when Sacha Baron Cohen was doing like the, just great success, all that stuff. Like, I genuinely feel like it wasn't like, he's like, yeah, people are going to latch onto this and people are going to latch onto that. And I think that's the difference with Mike Myers stuff, whereas I think he's like being a guy who was doing SNL for so long and doing characters that had like their thing, like Wayne's World and all that stuff. I think that's how he approaches writing it. Is it's like, yeah, what are people going to latch on? What's going to be the catchphrase for this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the big difference. And I think that's why Goldmember doesn't work for me, is it feels like it's just a bunch of characters designed to do that.
Oh, sure. But like I said, almost everything Michael Caine does in that movie is fantastic and makes up for all of the, like, just, I don't know, here's our thing, ha! Like, kind of jokes. It's not really a joke anymore. It's just like, catchphrases are basically, like, especially in sequels, it's like, they're no different than the not funny at all, non-joke parody movies, something epic movie, not scary movie, whatever, like, where it's just like, hey, you remember when this happened, this other thing? It's like, that's not a joke. You're just, like, doing a direct thing of another thing, and that's not a joke. Like, it's just, there's no joke there. Like, it's just, you remember this, and that's a catchphrase is the same thing, basically. It's just, I said this before, remember? Oh, I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got me with the catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will be curious to see what you think of Borat when you finish it.
Oh, the second one? Yeah. I mean, like I said, I forgot I had to make an errand, and I was like, shit, I didn't leave enough time to finish this. Things I have not almost finished. I finished everything that's available so far. I think there's one more episode, but The Right Stuff, I talked about that last time. I'm enjoying that more and more. Like, at first it was kind of that safe Tom Hanks-ish documentary style feel. Like Band of Brothers is like a goddamn dramatic masterpiece. And the subsequent, like, Pacific is pretty good, but it's just also like, I am watching a thing and this seems historically accurate. I'm just not as invested in it as I was like Band of Brothers, Right. And it's like, I'm saying the subsequent Tom Hanks things just haven't had that oomph. It's like, well, you get the look and you get the, the people look like they're right, but I was kind of getting that feel from The Right Stuff, where it was like, this all feels right. Like, you casted well. These people look period accurate and yada, yada, yada. And, like, all of a sudden it was like, by episode 3 or 4, it was like, oh shit, here comes the drama, and I'm into it. It's just like, at first it was just like, yeah, I'm into this because you're, doing a documentary style drama series of the early space program. Obviously I'm into that. But then it was like, oh shit, there's like, I'm now actually invested in this just as a TV show, not just from a historical context. Like, this has gotten good. So yeah, like really good dynamic of people. And it is, I will say, like, if you go to watch it, you're probably going to get a little, maybe not everyone has this, but like my face blindness thing, there are a couple of the dudes that just look so similar that I was having very hard time telling whose story was whose. Like now, like a couple episodes in, I'm like, I finally have like, okay, you're this, you're this astronaut, you're this person, I know who you are now. But there was just, when you cast a bunch of like 6 foot tall white dudes, from the late 50s, early 60s, they all kind of have a look, military, all buzz cuts, tall, pretty in shape dudes. It's like, okay, but it's like now I can like truly distinguish, and it doesn't help that like a lot of them's like faults are the same things, extramarital affairs and things like that. It's like, it was like, oh, this guy's off cheating on his wife again. Which one is he again? like, yeah.
Which wife cheater was he?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm into it now. Like, it's a good dynamic. So.
Yeah. Oh man, aren't you so glad Mandalorian's back?
Oh, that too. Yes. Fuck, I almost forgot to even talk about that shit.
Man, I haven't watched the second episode yet, but man, that first episode, the first one might be the best episode of the series.
I agree.
Like, that episode is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say what the thing at the end is, but I feel like they could have made that a little more clear than it was. Only 'cause, like, at first I was like, wait, like, who am I supposed to know? And then it clicked in my head, but it took like a few minutes. And then of course the end credits to go, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love the end credits, how they use the animatics and the storyboards.
Yeah. Yes.
The concept art from throughout the episode. It's like, I wish more shows would do that, to be like, all right, look, listen, this is how we make it. And I've heard from a few people, like, actually don't watch any of the behind the scenes stuff that they show, because it kind of breaks a lot of it.
I can see that.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
watch
so-
any of it.
I mean, I don't want. I'm getting pissed off because I just, this is kind of the entire mantra of 2020 and even a few years before. But like, why can't we just fucking have nice things and leave it be? Like, why does everybody have to fuck anything that's fun up at some point? Because I mean, it's like, there were like stories coming out before Mandalorian premiered. Clearly there was whatever bullshit Gina Carano's been saying, or so it's like that taints, put some taint on it. Then there's like these rumors of like Pedro Pascal's kind of being a prima fucking donna about this whole thing, and like he's not even like barely involved with the show anymore and stuff. Did you hear this? Like, I don't know if there's any truth to this. I'm just saying, like, why can't we just fucking enjoy a thing? Like, why can't just something stay pure? Like,
because people are required to post a certain number of stories a day on all these fucking garbage websites, and so that's what they do. Anything gets,
I just don't understand.
A single tweet by him will get a full 800 word story for no fucking reason.
I cannot imagine, like, I can't imagine how much of a piece of scum you would have to be to like accept a job and accept that your job is take thing people like, and I don't care, and just be like, well, how can I ruin this, essentially, because that seems to be like the the TMZ motto of like, well, people sure are enjoying The West Wing. Let's figure out which one of the actors is fucking doing heroin or whatever and tell everybody about it. And it's just like, fuck, huh? I'm just like, I'm saying, like, it's just like, wow, everyone's super positive on this thing. There must be something wrong about it. And and that will get the clicks because it's like, it's popular. And it's just like, fuck, like, can we just enjoy anything? Like,
here's the thing though, the Star Wars fandom at this point is so unbelievably broken.
Sure.
That you could, all you have to do is post a Star Wars story and just do a take either way. Like, Star Wars is being ruined, Star Wars is saved, and you've instantly got all eyeballs on it.
I know.
Doesn't matter.
And it's not anything to do with the showrunner or anything like that. Like Gina Carano said whatever dumb shit she said on her own. That was her.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just like, it just pisses me off. Like, I just hate that we're like in this. I'm not saying I want to like go back to sticking my head in the sand and like pretend everything's awesome and Lego movie this bullshit, but like, I'm just saying, like, can we not just have something that's for once like can stay semi-pure, like, especially in a dark time like this, it's just like, can we just have the Mandalorian come out and we're all like, fuck, thank you, like, more Star Wars and it's good, and I fucking needed this, like.
I mean, and that's what's sad too, is like the state of Star Wars, thinking about that, because I have friends who I'm like, seriously, Mandalorian is the best Star Wars thing since Return of the Jedi. Easily. And they're like, I don't care, fuck Star Wars now, man. I just don't care anymore. And I'm like, so you got a space western / samurai / whatever, Lone Wolf and Cub, you got this whole thing here, and you won't watch this? And they're like, yeah, the new movies, I don't know what the fuck. Like, it's all dumb now. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to push this point, but you just like, it's one of those things where it's like, you're missing out. If you don't watch this, you're straight up missing out.
I mean, I could say it more like, in the parallel, stupid, where you have to have a fight and pick a side thing. Like, I've tried 3 times now to get into Star Trek Discovery, and I just can't fucking do it. Like, I can't. Like, I am. Like, something about watching that show is just like kryptonite to my eyes. Like, I don't understand it, and I can't even like quantify it. Like, I just don't like anyone on the show. Like, I can't identify with a single character. I hate everybody, and yet, it wasn't like, oh, well, that's bad, so I'm not going to watch Picard. I watched Picard in entirety. I don't know if I think it's the best Star Trek thing ever, but it's not like, because this thing didn't work, I'm suddenly like, I'm off Star Trek forever. It's clearly bad now, or I wouldn't watch another JJ one, or Kelvin verse, whatever you want to call it. But I'm saying, like, a bad thing does not ruin everything to me. I guess I can get it, because I mean, when prequels came out, it was kind of like, well, Star Wars from my childhood sure feels tainted in some way, and it was dumb. It was a dumb reaction, but it was just like, it's like, wow,
It's still the correct reaction.
yeah. I just fuck, it's like, wow, I feel like I was super into Star Wars, and just like you really took the piss out of this, like for a while, just like this isn't fun anymore, and
yeah. But the right reaction to that is, oh, okay, this is no longer for me.
right. That's
I'll
kind of
just
where I
move
got
on.
to,
And then if they're going to keep trying it, I will just keep sampling it and be like,
but
okay, that doesn't like the prequels don't work for me, but Rogue One works for me, Solo works for me, The Mandalorian sure as hell works for me.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Maybe like in 1999, me being younger and it being fresh. Like if there had been something like Reddit and a more readily available group of people, like-minded people, to like get our pitchforks and torches and stuff, I might have gotten more angry about Star Wars at the time. But yeah, eventually, like by episode
Clearly
2,
you weren't on alt.net.Star Wars.
right? Yeah, fuck Jar Jar.
Yeah.
But
die.
yeah, yes. But yeah. I mean, it was like I guess maybe I would have joined in that, but like by episode 2, it was just like, well, I'm gonna go still see this because it's fucking Star Wars. But like my expectations just kept getting lower and lower. That by the time episode 3 came out, I was like, all right, that wasn't bad. Like my expectations are like this. That was fine. I guess that was a pretty good way to wrap this bullshit up and get to where you need to go and all that, But like, at the end of the day, I was just like, yeah, it's fine. I don't care that much anymore. Like, it kind of actually, like, I feel like that's actually one of my best life lessons. Really, was like it just sort of, I felt like that whole thing taught me to temper my expectations for all things fandom related. Like, don't ever just like get so involved in hype that you're just like, oh god, it can't live up to my expectations and it sucks, and for the most part, I've really tried not to do that. I get susceptible sometimes, sure. I'm just surprised all the Marvel movies have generally been okay to great. Because like every single one, I'm like secretly, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And they're all at least fine.
One of the most important things I think about the season premiere of The Mandalorian is that once again, John Leguizamo has this late career thing about him where I'm like, I like you. Mm-hmm. I hated you for 20 years, and now everything I see you in, you're like, you're good.
Who is this again?
John Leguizamo.
Leguizamo. This is recently. Like what?
He's in the first episode.
He was a character in the very beginning of the episode.
Oh,
like the little prologue sequence.
Oh, prologue sequence of the first episode?
Yep. Yeah. Basically where he goes into the fighting ring.
Right. So he's like the alien dude that was just like, why are you talking business so fast? He's that guy? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like trying to figure out which part you were talking about because I think I was looking for him, not alien version of him. And I was like thinking of makeup dude, but that was like clearly all CG, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
I wish I hadn't found out who the marshal was in that episode as well beforehand, but
it would have been nice to
like by fucking 9 a.m. on Friday, they were like, dude, check this out.
Didn't get spoiled for me, but the second the voice happened, I was like, I know who that is. I mean, that was just like, it was just one of those things. Like I immediately like, all I heard was like, you're like, man, I wish I didn't know who was in this. And I thought it was somebody different because there's been like a long-standing teased who's going to play somebody in this season of the Mandalorian thing, and I just thought you hadn't heard of that, and they showed up right away in the first episode, and I was like, oh, that's unfortunate that got spoiled from, but I don't know, again, kind of like you're me not seeing the Rudy Giuliani thing, I don't know how you hadn't heard the one I'm talking about, but but anyway, so I was just like, well, I guess that's unfortunate that he got that spoiled in the 0 hour, but I didn't know who it was or what, so I was actually expecting what I had in my head, and so when that voice showed up, I was just me like, I know who that is.
Yeah. Again, you're Rick Dalton pointing at the
well, it's just, yeah. That person's, I've watched a lot of their stuff here lately, so just took like one word coming out of their mouth and it was like, all right, know who that is. Got it.
Yeah, and that's a case of, too, it's like I feel like I need to watch each episode as soon as it airs, because I don't want to know when that character comes back.
Yeah.
If that character even comes back at all.
Absolutely, that character comes back. This show. The show is make a bunch of friends and then they all come together in the last episode.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that show's, it's something special. I mean, it is it's not up its own ass about Star Wars stuff. It's laid back. It's cute as hell. Just I want to be cynical about things, but the child is the cutest fucking thing.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I should
just
go
like
get my animatronic one right now. I have one.
You have one?
Yeah.
Of course you
Oh,
do.
geez.
I've had it pre-ordered for like
almost
I had it pre-ordered for like a year. Like as soon as they announced
Yeah.
it, it was like it was from like last Christmas where I was like, "Where's the stuff?" And like they're
Yeah.
like, "It's coming," and I was like, "Bye." Yeah,
Like on one hand, it was good on their part that they didn't license it right away so that it would stay secret.
Sure.
But then it was like 2
Give me-
seconds after that first episode, you're like, I must
God.
buy one
Give
of
me.
these. Yeah, yeah. And Mackie, like you said, I think you said on Twitter, like how they don't have a playset with that thing in the spittoon and
Oh, I said that I think, or
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
said that on Discord. Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
how long before that's
Right.
a piece of merch you can buy?
yes.
Like it's basically like a little Jack in the Box. It just comes out of the spittoon.
It's a bank. You put your coin in
Oh.
it, it goes down, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like whatever they want to have John Favreau launch next. Let's let him do it.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it's,
he's,
know,
he's
I think
launched
it's-
two great things.
I think it's
Yeah.
more Dave Filoni for the Mandalorian, but yes, I don't know. Just
I don't know.
I think Favreau like pulls the clout, and then, but
Okay.
yeah, Filoni for sure. Like he's clearly someone who's known what he's doing for a long time and has, such a heart for all the Star Wars stuff. Like, I've seen some of the clips that they post, I guess, from that behind the scenes show, like where he talks about the prequels, and he actually like is able to rationalize things that happen in the prequels, and he's like, and make them sound like good things. It's like that's a talent. That is a talent
Yeah.
to be able to take those and make them have deeper meaning, and not in the shitty letterbox 5-star review way that so many prequel apologists latch onto. It's like, yeah, yeah, I don't even want to get down that rabbit hole again, but yeah.
I wish I could get into Clone Wars. Like, there's something about that the early version of that style of animation that doesn't work for me, and the fact that it's all prequel world related, it just makes it a tough sell that I've tried several times. But yeah, Rebels is great. Like once I got over that kind of semi chintzy CG look. I mean, it's not chintzy. It's just I don't know what the right word is. It's just it's different from what cartoons are supposed to look like to my old man eyes. That sort of thing.
Powerpuff Girls esque.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of that like, oh man, you finally got reboot looking right. Like it's like, like I mean, like that. I'm just saying, like it's that early, like, oh, this is what CG computer generated graphic cartoons are gonna look like. This is shitty, but it's
Beast
like,
Wars.
yeah, I'm saying like from that early era where it was like, you finally fixed it at least, I guess, but I'm still not sold. But yeah, I mean, otherwise that show's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I were to do that, like I could probably skip Clone Wars and just go straight to Rebels.
Yeah, there's, I mean, other than, fuck, I mean, you know the long-standing thing. I can't talk around this anymore. Like, I'm just, the same character that's supposed to show up in The Mandalorian, played by live-action person,
Yeah.
is also in both of those series. But other than that, and like a couple of clone reference things here and there from characters that were, in Clone Wars, it's like there's no connection. I mean, Rebels all takes place in like I think just before episode 4. Like,
Yeah, I seem to remember everyone saying it was between 3 and 4.
yeah, it's like just before episode 4 is going to happen. Basically, is like the time period it mostly takes place, and then it jumps ahead some time to more familiar times. But yeah, so I mean, there's like so it gives them the license to like have OG trilogy characters show up and it not be weird or forced or anything like that. It's forced, but yeah.
Oh, I
You.
But yeah. But yeah, no, Rebels is great. Like I said, just prepare yourself because it's going to take a little while to get used to that cartoons look like that now. Because like it did for me, but like the story won out at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm due to go on a Star Wars deep dive again.
Well, I mean, if you like Mandalorian, I mean, here's half the creative team's previous thing that was pretty great.
I think I might wait till Mandalorian season 2 is done.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because there's gonna be a glut. there's going to be a lull of content there.
And you've got the
exactly.
Disney Plus, so it's all there anyway, including the season they made just for that, I believe, because they never really got a proper ending. It kind of got sort of canceled, and they gave them one final season to kind of wrap it up.
Well, speaking
All right.
of wrapping it up,
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, it's a good one.
that guy.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah, all of our contact information's over at the website, bmfcast.com. I mean, otherwise, most things, it's /BMFcast.
is it depending on what state that site is in right now?
What?
No, what? Yeah, all
Our
the
contact
socials,
stuff?
just go to whatever /BMFcast.
Generally
will find
speaking, yeah, bmf at bmfcast.com. If you want to email us, 910-556-9263. That's 910-5JOCKS-BMF, if you like the letter thing to remember.
us. Leave us a voicemail.
Yeah, none of us answer it. It's just straight to a voicemail. Leave one. We will play it on the show unless you say don't. But it would be weird because you could just send us an email. But
Yeah. Otherwise, go to patreon.com/BMFcast. Bonus content, Doctor Who podcast, early access to BMF Extra.
yeah, Chuck and I basically do almost a whole other. Well, we do more like a focused first half style extra episode because
If
we
you
both
are missing proper
Yeah, our normal
BMFcast,
show that's been gone since COVID took over our lives.
right? Subtract 2 hosts and maybe a more questionable film, or maybe a really good film.
Yeah, sometimes we have to watch real good movies to get to the 15 shitty sequels that they made after it.
Yep. So that's what that is.
Sometimes you have to watch
streamline.
the Poseidon Adventure to get to Beyond the Poseidon Adventure and the remake and the TV movie and stuff. So,
Yeah, starring the Goot.
Yeah, beneath the planet of the Poseidon Adventure.
right. Yes. War for the Poseidon Adventure, of course.
Escape from the planet of the Poseidon Adventure.
God, I have all those Apes movies. I should watch those at some point too.
What, the old ones or the new trilogy?
All of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the
I
old
never
ones and the new
finished the
trilogy.
modern. Yeah, I never finished the modern.
Yeah, I
And I
stopped.
think they actually gave me the Tim Burton one in the pack that I got too. So I haven't seen
Oh.
that since the theater.
The one
that
that's
fucking sucks.
the one that's kind of sort
that
of
has
related
the biggest
to the
fuck you
trilogy?
ending of all time. All time.
Makes no sense.
Fuck
Makes
you.
Zero fucking sense.
Yep.
I still think that the Tim Burton one is still in the same universe as the new trilogy. Somehow, I feel
Really?
I feel like it's slightly acknowledged that it exists. Because I know I watched the James Franco one, and I watched I think the second one because it had Gary Oldman in it. I know I definitely never watched the third one, but I don't remember shit that happened in the second one because it just the first one's actually pretty good. The James Franco one's not a bad. That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's got John Lithgow in it.
Apparently, they're all varying
all-
degrees of good.
Yeah. The second one was just kind of one of those there's a lot of things happening. I don't really know what's happening in the plot.
And I've seen all the originals, but I saw them in the late '90s, so it's been a long time. But man, those later ones are just
they're so good.
they're so good, they're so bad.
Yeah.
But especially, I want to say, is it? I know there's the one where they become ape celebrities.
Oh, that's the third one where they
the
travel back
third
in
one.
time. Yeah,
But yeah,
The time loops around and it becomes just real. What the fuck?
yeah, but the last one is the one where they're listen, we've got about $75.
well, they basically had to
Can we make a Planet of the Apes movie?
They had to make it with the costumes from the TV series, but it was which didn't work very well when they were made for the actors to move their mouths,
Yep.
when they were actually custom made. But then when they're on totally different actors, they didn't work at all. So basically the mouths didn't move at all. I think that was War.
Yeah.
I think War was the last one.
I think so.
Battle
And
for the Planet
I
of the
can't remember
Apes, that was.
if which is the fourth or the fifth, but I know that they were there were 3 sets total in one of them, and I was just oh my god, they are literally this is the entire movie, isn't it?
Yeah, Conquest I believe is the last one, and that one's they had no money.
Yeah,
War is from the new trilogy.
yeah.
It was Planet
There
of
was
the Apes,
Battle for the Planet of
Beneath
the
the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes,
Battle for the Planet of the Apes
Was it
is
Battle?
one of them. I don't remember where it is though, but
It's
yeah,
Conquest.
I apparently own all of those. They are all sitting on my Vudu, just waiting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should watch those two. They're real good. I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I own the box set somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not the monkey head one. They had one that was in
yeah,
an
the
ape head, but I
monkey
didn't buy
one.
that one.
Yeah. But anyway, if you want random deep dive stuff like that, like about what Amityville is that your most watched of Extra? Is the Amityville
Yeah,
series?
it's got to be. It's got to be, right?
That's the most entries, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
got to be. Yeah.
Because I mean, you guys got to like Amityville Garage Sale and other stuff.
Well, it's not
right?
actually called that. That's just what we call everything after 4.
Yeah,
Like
the
4
fourth one is
starts
the
the
garage sale.
4 starts the garage sale, and then it's just like, oh, we got the cuckoo clock from the Amityville house. Uh-oh.
Now our house is haunted.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. We watch a lot of those. Universal Soldier is creeping up into number of entries.
Yeah, that's true.
We will have finished that one by this weekend.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that series sucks. I mean, that's great. Yeah. I mean, the Goldberg one is fantastic, but yeah, like, I mean, it's bad, but that's the most entertaining one of all of them. Even the original,
Yeah,
like
'cause it's goofy as shit.
the original one's like not even that great a movie. It's, you know, yeah,
The original's fine.
yeah.
The immediate sequel is pretty damn goofy, and then everything after that is like, what are you guys doing?
I want to make a special note, by the way. Kino Lorber apparently has Action USA streaming now. So,
What?
however it works with them, go to their site, Action USA.
Can you like? Is it mean it's available for sale like digitally? Like I can own it forever?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. I mean, streaming's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but that is one I would buy to keep in my library if possible.
Yeah, that's just one of those where like we've been like, is there a release somewhere? And apparently Kino Lorber has the rights for it now.
Does it mean they have a disc too? I mean,
I haven't looked too much into it. I just saw it earlier today. I was like, oh my god, Action USA.
Oh, right. It's making the boutique theater
yeah.
rounds.
Did Draft House find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that means there will be a Blu-ray at some point. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's making the theater run according to Kino Lorber.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that one house during the station wagon chase.
Yeah.
Because somehow they blow that house the hell up with a station wagon. And it is glorious.
Yeah, this was yet another one of those things where I saw it making the rounds. I was like, we did that 10 years ago, guys.
Yeah. It's literally 10 years.
I mean, that's literally something we discovered, as in I found that on VHS at a flea market or somewhere and was like, it says Action USA and then has an action sticker on it. I have to buy this.
In case you were confused.
Yeah. I was like, I have to buy this and we're going to watch it. And we didn't know. I mean,
the action is not ironic. This is actually Action USA.
Like, just in case you weren't sure what genre to find Action USA at the video store, it's got a sticker for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I literally discovered that movie, like, just like, holy shit.
Yeah, just like Roar. Whoever sent us Roar was like, listen, nobody's ever heard of this. You have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, it was like 5 years later, everyone's like, oh my God, Roar.
Yeah.
These people lived with lions. We're like, yeah, we know. It's horrifying.
I mean, I figured Action USA was going to be like, to me, it's actually like strange. Like Miami Connection is another thing that got discovered or whatever, but like that's clearly like just some dudes in a couple of rooms at a place, like just shooting a movie on the fly, but like Action USA still feels like a movie where it was like, no, there's a crew there and they planned this. Like it doesn't just feel like an improvised thing where they're just like saying nonsense. Like that's actually a movie. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, like what's left of our holy grails at this point? It's going to be Order of the Black Eagle and Unmasking the Idol, somehow getting copies of those somewhere.
Yeah.
I would say Omega Cop's up there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like a lot of stuff people have finally found, like Hard Ticket to Hawaii and all those, like, all the Sedaris stuff people have.
Yeah, but that's the only one that's gotten like a Blu-ray transfer and stuff, right? Like Hard Ticket, or have they started doing the other ones too?
I think they did Malibu Express.
Okay.
They're all out. They're past where we have seen.
Oh, in Blu-ray format? Okay.
There are now Blu-rays of Sedaris movies that we have not seen yet.
Oh, okay then.
That's what happens when you're sidelined for 9 fucking months.
Well, hey man, hopefully that's over if the coup fails. So,
if the coup fails,
well, we're literally waiting to see if the coup fails right now.
I know.
Like, and everyone, I just love on Twitter. Everyone's like, "You need to be paying attention to this." And I'm like, "I am. What can I do? Tell me, how can I stop the coup?"
There's a coup, but what am I supposed to do?
There's a coup. What do we do? What
a coup.
Yeah,
like I voted. You asked me to vote. I voted. Like I can't go protest. I live in Florida.
I swear
to how fucking stupid paralyzed we are as a country where it's like, there's a coup happening. Huh. There's nothing I can do.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's just these people are like, I'm from Brazil. I've seen how coups look, and it's like this is what's happening. I'm like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's it. You're exactly right. That's the playbook. They're doing it.
Is there literally a coup happening, or are you talking about?
You pointed at life, and you said, "That's it. That's a coup."
Look, I've been blissfully off the internet today. Is there an actual coup happening, or are you just talking about like the orange bastard?
Trump has told different departments to proceed as if his February plans are in place.
Okay, so it's not so much
and not
a coup.
doing any transition stuff, and all the Republicans are saying only the media has declared the election.
Right.
There's still a lot of fraud.
Right.
Yeah, basically what's going to happen is come January 21st, he's going to say, I'm still president, and everyone's going to go, okay. And people on cable news will be like, well, this is wrong. And everyone's going to go, yeah, it is. But
they'll say this is unprecedented.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. These unprecedented.
I just wondered if there was like an actual military or armed coup.
The troops haven't rolled out yet, but
That's what I'm
putting
asking.
the pieces in place to make that happen.
Right,
Because he fired everyone at the Department of Defense.
Right. Yes. I mean, this is more like a delusion than a coup at this point. But yes.
Collusion.
I mean, right. There's a stage beyond coups. Like it implies like shit is actually happening, not just yes.
Things are moving into place for it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In the wrong circumstances, it is entirely plausible that it could happen.
Sure.
Yeah. And real fast, just to close out the show.
Yeah. This is how we always lead out.
I just want to say, we have been very political over the last 4 years. It creeps into almost every podcast we do at some point for good reason. But you stuck with us if you're listening to this. And I really appreciate you for being a good person and being able to handle the occasional sentence of, hey, the president's a piece of garbage. And your brain doesn't explode when you hear that. You're like, yeah, he kind of is.
Yeah.
So if you're still listening and you were able to tolerate hearing some decent people say, hey, our president's kind of a shitbird, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just we look forward to a day where you don't hear anything about the president.
Yeah.
That's the best thing we can say about the president is hopefully we can go a week and go, I don't know what the president's been up to.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Policy meetings?
I need like a president buster, like, best not seen or heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just that's what I want. Just like, President Buster's up there doing, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's give him a hand.
You know what? And I guess we'll be less political then because we won't.
It's the presidential seal.
All the oxygen won't be sucked up by it. So, yeah. But seriously, thank you for saying that, Chuck. Because it feels good right now to hopefully be in a place where this is over soon. Because it feels like I think we did No Quarters the day after the 2016 election, and we were just like,
Somber day, amigo.
Yeah.
It's our best episode title.
That is,
ever.
That might be the best title under the worst circumstances. Because I was expecting to have to do the No Quarters one last week, and it would just be Somber Day Amigo 2.
Right.
So at least there's not that, but it's still, it's disappointing to see that it was that close. I mean, that's all I can say is people talk about bubbles, and maybe we're kind of in one, and maybe the people that said "fuck you" to us and left a bullshit cowardly 1-star iTunes review and then pieced out, and maybe they're in their own bubble too. But it felt like this should not have happened this way. It shouldn't have gone down like this. It should have been like people go, "Oh yeah, that guy's a racist, fascist piece of shit. This is America." No, but 70 million Americans said, "That's my guy. That works." And the ones who voted like, well, it'll really help my portfolio if he stays in office. It's like, yeah, fuck you too. Like,
actually, fuck you more.
If all the other stuff wasn't the deal breaker,
yeah.
Fuck you.
I mean, honestly, fuck you more. Because like I said, like to me, there's something, I don't know, not tolerable, but like something at least wholesome about an honest racist. Like someone who's just I'm racist, and it's like
someone who owns their bullshit.
Yeah, like okay, like you accept that. Cool. All right. Well, now at least you're out there.
You're an awful person, but at least you're upfront about it. Right. And you're not doing this whole song and dance about how no, whoa, I didn't mean it. Like you're snowflakes. Like no,
sarcasm.
If you're racist, just be fucking racist and own it.
Yeah. Watch some blaxploitation movies. They'll show you how to do it.
Yes.
And
Those
then,
motherfuckers.
and then Jim Brown will beat you to death.
And then
Somehow
become a
eventually
Republican
vote
and
for
vote
you.
for
It's
Trump.
fucking weird.
Yeah, it's real strange how that works.
Yeah.
God, I just... The sad thing is, I know this isn't going to be over by next blaxploitation History Month. We're going to hit a year of basically not being able to record together in the studio, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
But
please understand that I have already planned for whenever we get back is
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
I
be
know.
blaxploitation history. So
yeah,
we will have a year-long reset where theme months aren't going to matter. It's just going to be like, hey guys, look, I have found a year's worth of movies that we need to watch, and here we go.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll be back. We'll be back.
All right. Well,
I can't wait.
In the meantime, let's go ahead and get out of here, shall we?
Let's.
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck, and this is BMFcast out.
I see BJ27 is laughing at something I said, and I don't know what it was. I don't even remember any of the bullshit that I've said at this point. But
I wonder what it was.
yeah, just never know.
What do you say?
Yeah, and I just, he should be out on the 21st, of January, but I just don't know. Like there are so many things that should have happened differently that didn't, because as we've learned, our government's based on a gentleman's agreement for everything. And as soon as you decide not to be a gentleman,
The
nobody
other
can do
side
anything.
fucking melts down and
Yeah.
just goes, we don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I guess we can't stop you. Okay, we'll try again in 4 years. Bye-bye.
yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, fucking shit show.
Yeah.
All right. My Xbox is calling. I got more things to try.
Yeah, I want to go play Xbox.
All right. Let's all go play Xbox.
Until tomorrow when I launch it into the sun to play a giant-ass monolith PlayStation.
Yeah.
Oh, is
man.
that tomorrow? I thought it was Friday.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it's tomorrow.
Oh shit.
As
okay.
long as the fucking tropical storm doesn't fuck with everything.
Yeah. I had to pre-sign for FedEx.
Oh, I know. I thought it was Friday, so I guess I'll have to be
Nope.
shopping tomorrow instead of Friday.
So I'll be playing some Demon Souls tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be playing some Astro's Playroom.
I will be playing an Xbox game
Yeah.
or Miles Morales on the PS4.
Are you going to get it?
I was just gonna wait because until I get a PS5 at this point. Like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I want to play it, but also I don't. I did read that like they have the dumbest upgrade path. Like all of their stuff
Yeah.
is like not
Yeah.
was not announced very well. And
Yeah.
if you wanted to buy the Ultimate Edition, which would ultimately give you the Spider-Man remastered when you got a PS5, you did not get a PS4 copy of Miles Morales because it assumed
Right.
you were buying the other thing for a PS5. But now I learned that you can buy the Standard Edition for $60, get both versions, and then for $20 go in and upgrade it to the Ultimate Edition later, and then get the thing ex post facto if you like the Latin. Yeah, after the fact.
I'll get it whenever it's on sale.
What, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, because I never I never finished out the Spider-Man story from the main
Now
one.
you can go play it with Tom Holland instead.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently, like,
But not
your
with his
saves won't
voice, just-
transfer till like in a month or two is
Yeah.
when they'll actually have the capability to transfer the saves over, and it's like, come on, guys.
So weird.
Shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't, but
Anyway, I'm gonna hit stop. I'm gonna hit
I'm going to take us
export.
off the internet. So
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Man, a lot of new people tonight. It was nice.
Good.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jeff and family.
Thanks
Right.
for stopping by.
Good night.